Well, good morning. It's Wednesday morning. We're going to read Luke 22:39 to 46. Jesus came out and went, as was his custom, to the Mount of Olives. The disciples followed him. When he came to the place, he said to them, "Pray that you may not enter into temptation." He withdrew from them about a stone's throw and knelt down and prayed, saying, "Father, if you're willing, remove this cup from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done." There appeared to him an angel from heaven, strengthening him. And being in agony, he prayed more earnestly, and his sweat became like great drops of blood falling down to the ground. And when he rose from prayer, he came to the disciples and found them sleeping for sorrow. He said to them, "Why are you sleeping? Rise and pray that you may not enter into temptation." So several things here. Jesus is in some agony. This is typically referred to as the agony in the garden. He's agonizing. He doesn't want to die. He doesn't want to go through the torture and the being beat up and, all of the painful stuff. He knows that he has to. He knows that God wants this. And so finally he says, "Not my will, but yours be done." So that's his resignation to and surrender to the will of God for his for what's left of his future. So he doesn't say, "No, I've changed my mind. I don't want to do this." He knows he's going to die, and he's willing. He's not happy about it. He's in agony, but he's understands that it has to happen, and he's willing to do it. Which is where we get this, controversy in some parts of the church about should you pray. Jesus constantly says, if you pray something and it'll be done for you. And here it's not my will, but yours be done. And I've heard people who end every prayer that way, and it's almost like you're telling God what you want, and then you're saying, "Well, but whatever you want, God." There's something healthy about that. There's also something kind of contradictory about that. We should, I think, just tell God what we want and what we need and pour it all out there, and God can sort it out and say, no, that's not what you really should have. God's will is going to be done one way or the other, so you may as well surrender to it, yes. But on the other hand, the whole point of prayer is to share your feelings with God. So go ahead and share them. Then he wakes up the disciples, and in a couple of other gospels, he does that 3 or 4 times. He keeps waking them up. "Can't you stay awake and pray with me?" And they can't. They've just had 4 or 5 glasses of wine. It's late at night. It's 3 in the morning. They've walked a couple of miles. They're tired. We would all be falling asleep. And they don't know the urgency of this prayer the way that Jesus does. They don't feel that urgency. And so they're tired. They fall asleep. All of us would fall asleep, I think. That's kind of the point of this, is that everyone falls asleep. No matter how good a disciple we believe that we are, we'd still be falling asleep. So it's easy to say don't fall asleep. It's hard to keep yourself awake. Twice he says, "Pray that you won't enter into temptation." So I think that means pray that you won't be, pray that you'll stay with me and remain faithful and not be tempted to run away or something. So that's the agony that Jesus feels and that the disciples feel at the same time. So, less urgency, but they still understand that he's in great difficulty, and they want to be there for him, but they're sleepy, and it's late at night, and they don't really understand. And why is he over there praying like a madman? Why is great drops of blood or sweat-like drops of blood falling off of him? What's going on? That's where they are. Where are we? Sometimes we're in, one place or the other. And what we want to do is remember and remain faithful to Jesus. So do that. We'll see you tomorrow morning for the next bit of the story, and have a great day.